Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at some of these charts, basically Bitcoin and Matic, and mainly work out if what's going on with Bitcoin is going to continue, and especially with Matic, if we're going to have some Matic moves. Get out of the 15-minute chart for now on Matic, go to the 4-hourly on both of these. So Bitcoin to start with has actually done some decent moves today, about 5%, so that basically means that now Satoshis are more valuable than they were yesterday, therefore harder to achieve, only by 5%, but it still counts for something. It doesn't change the way that we chart this, but what it does do is mean it basically means that we're likely to see a slower growth, if anything, on Sats than we would do if it was yesterday. But it's not such a big deal because Matic doesn't like to do slow growth. So let's have a quick look at what happened yesterday. So on this video I was making, I was saying if we break through the 2.5 area, then rejection would be at 2.7, which is more or less where it was rejected from yesterday. So obviously, you know, not blowing my own trumpet, but I do sort of study the Matic chart. Matic and me are quite well acquainted. I kind of know where it's going to go roughly when it comes to supports, resistances, and selling tops and things. Catching bottoms slightly different when you're buying and selling an uptrend, so it's difficult to say whereabouts to get back in again. Although I did say on my Telegram chat earlier that about between 258 to 260 sats would be a good opportunity to get back in, and again, not blowing my own trumpet, but where did we come back down to? About 258 and 260. So I mean, like I say, it's probably just luck. It's probably nothing. It's probably just luck. It's not TA. It's just luck. But it did work out quite nicely for me, so I went back in on it. But we're actually not holding up very well. So looking like I perhaps aren't as bullish as I was yesterday. Maybe another pullback is required for this to take hold. So sold my Matic again, so I'm not holding any trades at the moment. Ideally I would like to see it come back down to those levels again, but if it does come back down to these levels, I think we might be looking at a bit more of a lower retest, but only ever so slightly, perhaps down to about 253 or thereabouts, maybe. But we are talking about Matic, so it could obviously just launch at any moment. Now the interesting thing about what happened today is we'll go on the 15-minute chart for now, then just to have a look at what happened. So we were consolidating after the move yesterday, so we hit our level at we'll call it 2.7 cent, and then we were consolidating thereafter. Now this kind of coincided with a tweet to say that Matic are going to do this, that, and the other, including staking on Coinbase wallet, which is a big deal. That's a really decent place for anyone to have to stake, because you don't want to be setting up nodes and stuff like that. You know, if you're anything like me, you know, I'd feel a little bit uneasy about setting all that stuff up myself in case something went wrong and I lost it all. If you can happily put it in a Coinbase wallet, and yeah, I'm sure they're going to take a cut, but you know, I'm sure you've got a fair amount of security with the Coinbase wallet, so you can just stick all your Matic in there and let it stake. That sounds like a good idea to me. And also, any mention of Coinbase, you know, even if it's just something like that, gets everybody excited. So that basically pumped this. This isn't a real chartable pump, even though it's a good one. This one was off the back of that. So, and again, you know, this whole move here, generally, I mean, the chart was bullish. I mean, this is where we were told that there was going to be a trading competition, you know, with X amount of Matic to be won. So yeah, this was a FOMO from that announcement. This is a FOMO from that announcement. But overall, the chart was bullish before that. But what I don't like is FOMOing off the back of tweets and announcements, competitions. I don't like all of that. Although it's good for the coin, especially if you are holding it prior to those. I mean, obviously I've done alright out of that, just out of pure luck really, that those things came out at the same time as me holding it. But what it does is it overextends the chart. Now if we have a look, because we don't want massive amounts of FOMO, it hurts a chart. We look at the RSI, we're bumping our heads at the top of the safety zone, coming up into slightly overbought territory on the daily chart. We don't really like that, because it means that it has to have big pullbacks. It means that we can't just sit back and let this ride out, because it's only a matter of time before it does break down, and you know, you can't continue this trend for too long. Not when you're this high, you do have to come back down again. So I don't really like that as such, but for the moment it is what it is, so let's try and trade it, shall we? So, looking at the daily, our 2.5 is holding ever so slightly. If that breaks down, though, which it looks like it will break down, we'll probably be coming down to take out maybe even the majority of the wick that we enjoyed yesterday. Remember, this trading competition counts for longs and shorts, so people are loving the ups and downs on this run right now. And like I say, I mean, the idea that you could win something like that. How many people are trading Matic right now? Thousands, hundreds of thousands, probably. The volume is massive on it at the moment. It's really big. I mean, it's bigger than XRP. I think at the moment, I think it's on par with the amount of tradable volume of BNB itself. So, there's a lot of volume on it, which means there's a lot of people on it, which means that you're very, 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 very unlikely to win that trading competition unless you're an absolute monster trader with tons and tons and tons of cash. So, just let's not fall for it. But it doesn't mean that we can't trade it. So I obviously am enjoying the trade. I'm not trying to win anything at all. So I'm rambling. I'll cut to the chase. So we're extended quite significantly still on the daily chart. We're at the top of the Bollinger Band. Outside of it, still, I'll probably say we want to come back within that. Even though this competition is holding us up and the release of mainnet, I'm not looking to buy at this level. Would like to see it come back down, ideally to 23. Same as I said yesterday. I'd like to see it come down to. I say 23, 2.3 cent is where I'd like to see it come back down to. If we are going to come back down to that level, there's no reason why we shouldn't come back down, at least with a wick, to come back down to areas of moving averages. I mean, that is technically possible. Look at some of these moves that we had, bouncing off a 10 simple here, going right up, overextended, right outside of the Bollinger Band, outside of it the next day with a huge wick, pulling us back down inside it. Yeah, we were riding up above it and we came back down and found a support on the 10 simple. Obviously it didn't hold, but that doesn't mean that it's not a decent trade. You see it come back down here. Where are you going to trade it? What's beneath it of any significance? A 10 simple. Give it a go, see what happens. Anyway, other than that, if you look at the daily, what it's done also is it's always held in the middle of the Bollinger Band. It's not broken down beneath it for quite some time, not since some of these decent pumps actually. So we're talking about supports, we're talking about moving averages, talking about the centre of the Bollinger Band. Nice and easy going trades, really nice and easy going. So I would like to see that happen. I would like to see it come down to my first opportunity, I'd say, or I'd comfortably be happy at buying it at around about 2.3 cent, or if we're looking at the sats value, because we are being held up on the 10 simples here, but the sats, like I say, are harder to achieve at the moment because Bitcoin's more valuable today than it was yesterday, so this is going to impact this chart some. It's going to make it look a little more bearish than it would have done, especially if Bitcoin pumps, which I do think it is going to pump actually any minute, or definitely before the weekend. I think we're going to find a pump on there, maybe even $1,000 or more. This might be the pump that breaks 10,500. We just don't know, but I don't think we're looking bearish as such on Bitcoin right now. We could come back down to test around 9,000 or so, maybe a little lower, but it would basically, I think the game's up for the bears. I think the bulls are back in control, which basically means that a lot of alts are going to suffer from that because the sats are going to suffer. So if Matic continues to remain static or slightly bearish or consolidate like it's done today, then yeah, you'll see a decrease in sats. Sats bringing us down to hopefully the centre of the Bollinger Band. I'd be happy with that. The 21 EMA, that would be a great area. We often likes to test around those areas. I'll be happy with that. So we're talking about 257 to around 252 area. That'd be a comfortable area for me to buy in, looking for a bounce around there. So there's a lot of things to look at, and you've got to have the two pairs up, and you've got to set your alerts and things like that, because these things you can miss them in a flash. But I don't like to have buy orders set for some of these things, because especially for Matic, I don't like setting buy orders up for anything really. I like to be manually in control, because you can hit these areas, you can hit these targets. What I would like to do is initially look at the health of the entire market. Is it dumping on its own? Is it dumping with Bitcoin? Is the market collapsing? What's going on? I don't want a buy order pulling the trigger for me. I'd like it just to tell me that something's happening, me to have a quick look, assess the situation, maybe make a purchase. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so this isn't financial advice at all. This is just what I plan on doing. This is how I've been trading, and like I say, it's not for me to tell you what to do with your money. That's your bag. So where we're going to go from here. So after we consolidate and hopefully test some of these lower areas, we'll find significant bounces. Those bounces should bring us back up to these areas easily enough. The Bollinger Band will have expanded by then, allowing us time to break up and away, and we're looking at the next area of resistance is going to be this one here, around 29 or 2.9 cent to be exact. That's where we couldn't take it anymore the last time we got that far. And again, sell at that level, look to buy back at an appropriate level, perhaps maybe the 2.7 or the 2.5, or maybe see where our moving averages are around that time. Obviously, when Matic pumps, we all get excited because we know what it's done in the past. It's done it twice last year, and there's no reason to say it's not going to do it again this year, or maybe even bigger than these. And to be honest with you, with mainnet release and staking and all these things, all we're waiting for now is a Coinbase announcement to say that yes, you can buy it and sell it here for fiat currency. That'd be lovely. Binance are listing it on a US chart, so there's a lot of good stuff going for Matic, but you cannot look at a chart like this and be nervous about putting your money into it, because you can have huge gains, massive rewards. You can lose out big time, so you've got to be very, very careful. Don't be greedy on a chart like this, and respect it for what it is, because it's very, very, very volatile, probably the most volatile asset I've ever traded. And like I say, it's not for the faint-hearted, and it's not for the inexperienced, which is why I have to reiterate, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. This is a very deadly chart, okay? We can make huge moves, and I'm in no doubt that we will at some point take out these all-time highs. I would probably expect this to happen this year with all the things that are happening with Matic fundamentally. I would expect all of these to be taken out, but not without some dire consequences when they are taken out. So be careful of where you buy and where you sell if you do decide to go into a buying and selling Matic, because like I say, it's extremely volatile. So, like I say, wait for the pullback is what I'm looking for. Any break above 2.7 cent, a significant break above there, it would excite me some. Even though I am expecting a pullback around 2.9 cent, I am getting very excited when I see 2.7 break. The reason it's a decent area to break is because when we first had our parabolic run up here, and this was a nice consolidation, a nice downtrend. There's no such thing as a nice downtrend really, especially if you can't short a currency. But this one looked a hell of a lot better than this one. This is when it was margin tradable. This is when it wasn't. There's a big difference, can't you see? There's a massive difference of how things can travel when there's people shorting it. There was no one shorting it at this point. There was people shorting it here. So there's people taking profit here. This is what profit taken looks like, and buying back. This is what it looks like when people just want to dump the market and run the other way, with maybe even as much as 5% leverage. So that you can see what the difference is, and that's the overall difference. The only benefit from that is the way that it moves as a result of that afterwards. It hits an all-time low, which for Matic is around about 1.2 cent, roughly speaking. That's its all-time. That's its main low, 1 cent to 1.2 cent, and it was very forgiving on this time. I believe it doubled actually from its bottom here. So it hit the bottom here at 1.19, and 78%. Very forgiving, very generous at that point. So again, I'm finding myself rambling about this one. So the be all and end all is Matic, until as it stands, still looks very bullish to me. Fundamentally, it's got a lot of bullish incentive to continue to go up over this next this next 7 days or so, until the overall release of mainnet, and then I would probably expect a bit of a dump, maybe a significant one, depending on how much we've gained from there. Pull back now, that would be great, thank you, and moving up, smashing above these areas, selling at this one, coming back, maybe buying back around this level or lower, and then hopefully sailing it up to the all-time super resistance, which is basically dangerous resistance, which is 3.4. The reason I say that is that on our last attempt, and if you go back in time, what you see is these wicks here sort of converged around that level. So we had this one here, this one here. It acted as a bit of support on our way down on our mega dump, but it basically failed from there and then super dumped basically at that level. So that would be our super resistance, where we would love to break above there for a chance to beat our all-time highs. Getting anywhere above there is extremely unstable and dangerous. It doesn't matter fundamentally what the state of the market is. When a coin is this volatile, which Matic is extremely volatile, it doesn't look like it ever wants to hold a price unless it goes parabolic from here, and I'm talking super parabolic, and makes its way up into, you know, like the 20 cent area or more, which isn't completely, that's not unlikely with any cryptocurrency. You see things doing 10x's in a couple of weeks sometimes. It's no big deal, but obviously what goes up comes down. So if you want to get into something, you need to chart it out, and if you want to get out of something, you need to be one of those people just not greedy. Alright, for me, I like to take profit along the way with something like this because of its volatility. I don't like having too much at risk. I need to sleep at night. You know, I've got a very busy life. I need to have my wits about me. I don't want to be all sluggish and tired throughout the day because I stared at a chart waiting for my entire investment to collapse. So I take profit along the way. There are obvious areas like this. Anyway, that said, we'll just have a quick look at Bitcoin, just very briefly. So we're on the 4-hourly chart. What's going on here? Rejection at this level. That's fine. That's fine. We filled the CME gap, so this is what people are waiting for. So now have the bulls got their back in control again? Well, I mean, the setups when you were talking about moving averages are bullish. We've got golden crosses on daily, 4-hourly, every time frame really got a golden cross on it, and they're still playing out. As you can see, they're still sort of diverging away from each other, which basically means that it's still strong. It's not bent over. There's not level. They're still moving apart from each other, which suggests that yes, the incentive is to continue with this move up. So what I'm expecting really would be eventually, sooner or later, a move all the way back up to 10,000, which is the top of the Bollinger Band, and then to come down to this descending trend, which we've been stuck under for a very, very long time, and that, as of today, is at 10,458. So the magic number is 10,500. We were rejected from on this one here and this one here. So actually, I would expect probably a rejection on our first pass of this, but as this decreases in its value, and you can see over the next few weeks to months, you know, we're going to come down to comfortable levels where we could easily break out of that. At the moment, we're just beneath the 10,500 area, which to me is a little too close for comfort. If we were to be around, let's talk about where would be here, the 1st of July. 10,000. If we can reach 10,000 by then, I think that we've got a much better opportunity of breaking out of it by then, because it is descending. So this can't go on forever. It will break out of this, and breaking out of this basically means bullish, because this all goes all the way back up to here to 2017, hitting the tops of this descending trend. We will hit it again and probably break down from it, but eventually, as the price gets lower and lower and lower and lower, we will break out of this descending trend. And my guess is descending trends like this, once broken out of, they do make super big moves. I'm talking 10, 20, 25, 35% moves, just because it's the first time it's happened in a long time. We saw this with XRP. We've seen it twice actually with XRP. It's got a descending trend like this that's been going on since the parabolic top of XRP. We've broken out of that on 2 occasions, and on both occasions, once we peeked our head out at the top, we made a 25% gain, almost within hours, certainly within a 24-hour period. So I would expect Bitcoin to follow the same suit, as most charts would follow the same suit. So yeah, first pass rejection, maybe third pass rejection, fourth, fifth, I don't know, but as soon as we see that we've broken out of it, it's super bull time, and that's what I'll be looking for, that's what I'll be waiting for. And I think it's only a matter of time now, as this price has just ducked for the first sort of few days now below that overall rejection level that we've had recently of 10,500. So like I say, breaking out of this descending trend is gonna spark probably the new most recent all-time high. Eventually, at some point this year, we're going to be breaking that 14,000 area, which obviously I'm very excited about. I'm sure you are too. So that's where we stand with Bitcoin. That's where we stand with Matic. I don't have the biggest evening planned for myself, so maybe I'll make another video or two later. But when I do get a chance to make videos, let me know what you're interested in me looking at. If it's a chart that you know is younger than a year, I probably won't bother, because it's difficult really to spot any significant trend. But as long as it's over a year old and the chart history goes back about a year, I'll give it a good look for you. If it's already gone parabolic, I don't think I can help you, but if there's something you're interested in, please let me know. Stick it in the comments below. I'll be happy to have a look. Otherwise, join my Telegram group. That's there's a link below for that. You can have a chat with me and everybody else that's part of that. Some really knowledgeable people, a lot of active traders on there too, that have equal to sometimes better informed decisions than myself. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice evening and take it easy.